Today on Vallo Vision News, voters are preparing to head to the polls for Super Tuesday. Hear about the Supreme Court ruling that guarantees Donald Trump can appear on all state ballots.
And Vice President Kamala Harris visited Selma last week on the anniversary of the Civil Rights March. Hear her speech made in honor of the historic day. Vallo Vision News starts right now. Hello and welcome to Vallo Vision News. I'm Cypress Wilkinson.
And I'm Avery Zhao. Thanks so much for watching. Our lead story today, a big win at the Supreme Court for Donald Trump.
In a unanimous decision, the justices ruled that Trump can stay on the ballot in Colorado. Vallo Vision News reporter Lydia Hendrith joins in the studio with more on how today's ruling will impact presidential primaries across the country.
On Monday, the Supreme Court unanimously ruled former President Donald Trump should appear on Colorado's Republican presidential primary ballot. Monday's ruling also means that Trump cannot be left off ballots in other states with similar lawsuits. The decision came after months of debate over whether Trump violated the insurrectionist clause in the Constitution's 14th Amendment. The ruling was a massive victory for Trump.
You cannot take somebody out of a race. The voters can take the person out of the race very quickly, but a court shouldn't be doing that, and the Supreme Court saw that very well, and I really do believe that will be a unifying factor.
Trump's Supreme Court win comes just one day before Super Tuesday. That's when 16 states and territories, including Alabama, Colorado, California, and Texas, will hold presidential primaries. Many states are also holding primaries for House seats. Republicans need to pick up 2 seats in the fall, depending on who wins the White House, to win the majority. As for the presidential race, it's been a relatively easy path so far for President Joe Biden and Donald Trump. The real question is whether Nikki Haley can gain any traction to challenge Trump for the Republican presidential nomination after she won the Republican primary in Washington, D.C. over the weekend. Reporting live in the studio, I'm Lydia Hendrith. Cypress, back to you.
Thanks, Lydia. The state of Alabama will be front and center in Congress this Thursday, March 7th. Alabama Senator Katie Britt is set to deliver the Republican rebuttal to President Biden's State of the Union address. Britt made history when she was sworn into office last year as Alabama's first elected female senator. At 42 years old, she is also the youngest Republican woman ever elected to the Senate. In a statement, Senator Britt said she hopes to, quote, have a candid conversation about the future of our nation.
Vice President Kamala Harris was in attendance in Selma, Alabama this past weekend.
The Vice President spoke at the foot of the Edmund Pettus Bridge.
Freedom is fundamental to the promise of America. Freedom is not to be given. It is not to be bestowed. It is ours by right. And the power behind the promise of freedom has always been in the faith of her people.
The Vice President also led this year's march across the iconic bridge in Selma. This year marks the 59th anniversary of the Bloody Sunday March. On March 7, 1965, civil rights activists marched from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama, to demand the right to vote for Black people. Bloody Sunday earned the name from the violence inflicted on those who marched. The attack led to the passage of the Voting Rights Act. In other news from our state, defendants in Alabama's controversial IVF lawsuit are asking the court to rehear the case. Last month, the state's high court ruled embryos are children, regardless if they are in a uterus, and those who destroy them can be held liable for wrongful death. An Alabama court source says the justices could take more than 6 weeks before deciding whether to grant the application to rehear the case. However, reconsideration is not typically granted.
Remember, there's always more news 24/7 on our social media pages. Just search for Vallo Vision News on Instagram, Facebook, and X. Still ahead on Vallo Vision News, spring is in the air, but it's already time to start thinking about your fall schedule. Find out when you'll be able to see what classes are being offered.
Plus, hosted dozens of communication professionals on campus last week. How the event is giving current students a head start on networking. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back to Vallo Vision News. It's already time to start thinking about fall classes. On Tuesday, the fall schedule will go live on Banner.
But you won't be able to sign up for classes right now. Registration does not open until April. Remember, you'll need to meet with your advisor before you can register for fall classes.
Hallie Farmer Lecture Series continues this Wednesday with two-time Pulitzer Award-winning AL.com writer John Archibald. His speech is titled The Future of Writing and Truth. It starts at 6:30 p.m. and runs until 8 in the LeBaron Recital Hall in the Music Building. It will be immediately followed by a Q&A session.
It's award season for the University of Montevallo faculty and staff. Nominations for this year's Bricky Awards are now open. Awards include Soaring Spirit, Amazing Alum, Engaging Educator, and much more. Nominations for the awards are open until March 7th. Voting will be from March 8th to the 14th, with winners being announced on the 18th. Voting for nominees is open to students, alumni, faculty, and staff.
The Department of Communication and UM's Career Development Center hosted Communication Career Day last week. The networking fair allowed students to meet alum and other professionals working in communication-related careers. More than 20 companies participated in this year's event, including Strong Automotive, ABC 3340, and Hibbett Sports. Dr. Bruce Finkley says the event helps students get a jump start on their careers.
This is a fantastic opportunity for students to kind of get some one-on-one face time with alumni and other communication professionals so that they can see career paths that they may not have considered, to find out about internships and job opportunities, and to start really building a solid network today.
Avery, I know you were at Communication Career Day. Were you able to hand out any resumes or?
Yes, as soon as I got there, I was able to meet so many different people or potential employers for my job field, and getting to meet all those news stations really opened my eyes to the possibility that it could be me one day up on those TV screens. So it was really just a great opportunity, and I'm very thankful for it happening this past weekend.
Yeah, that's great. Remember, there's always more news from our team of reporters on our website, vallovisionnews.com. That's all the time we have for today's show.
Thanks for watching, and be sure to tune in to Vallo Vision News again Wednesday.